You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Cards to the Moon. This is episode 390. My name is Clark from 5cardguys.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at 5cardguys, all spelled out, all one word. It's another solo intro today because I do have a special guest interview I'll play for you guys in just a minute. But if you're a loyal listener of the pod, you'll know that he's been on the podcast before. His name is Dave, and we talked soccer cards. We talked about the SOCO Expo and the National, where we met up in person. And he made a pretty big trade that I asked him to give the details on. So stay tuned for that interview, which I'll play in just a sec. But with the summer almost over, yes, hard to believe, we will hopefully get back into some regular weekly programming on the pod. It's been a blast making content at the shows I've been to over the past couple months, but it is nice to be finally home and get back into the routine of things. And like I said in the previous pod episode, I will be setting up at a couple of local shows, and I'll give more details as we get closer to the dates. So if you're in the greater Toronto area, would love for you guys to drop by and say hello. The one that's coming up on Saturday, September 12th is called Arc World and is taking place in Markham. We'll have Will and Roy there as well, showing off their cards, and we plan to do some pod segments while we're there together, as well as rip some product and give free packs for kids. We'll also be giving away some free tickets to the event itself. So stay tuned for that announcement next week. But please check the show notes below for some of the preliminary event details. Oh, and if you missed my appearance on Sports Car Live with Jeremy Lee last weekend, I'll include the YouTube link below as well. It was a fun time just talking about cards, state of grading, and of course plugging this podcast as well. And if you are a new listener of the pod after seeing me on Jeremy's show, welcome to our little community here. Okay, without further ado then, here is my interview with Dave, aka at Wolf Hearts Cards on Instagram. Enjoy. Alright, we got another guest on the pod, and if you're a loyal listener, you'll know who Dave is, aka at Wolf Hearts Cards on Instagram. He's been on the pod a couple times already. We also met up in person recently, first at the West Coast Card Show, which I didn't have any idea that you were set up there. So just hearing your voice was a little bit of a surprise, but it was great seeing you there. And then we met again at the National now a couple weeks ago. And while we were catching up in Chicago, I mentioned it would be great if he could come on the pod again to talk about soccer cards, now that the World Cup is over. And he's much more familiar with the soccer card market than I am, so I have a lot of questions for him. And just wanted to get his thoughts on the recent shows we've both been to in the past couple of months. So without further ado, Dave, welcome back to the pod.
Thank you so much for having me again, Clark. Yeah, I thought about actually reaching out to you before I was set up at West Coast, but I knew DC would be there, so I was like, maybe Clark will be in town. And then he had mentioned it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just wait then. Okay.
It's always weird when you hear your voice and you're like, who is this? No, that was great seeing you there. Like I said, it's been 2, maybe even 3 weeks now since the National. I kind of lost track of time. But what have you been up to? And have you been to any other shows since then? Or are you getting ready for another one?
So normally, this was my third National in a row, starting Cleveland the first year of the SOCO. So I was like, okay, we'll try that. But then normally after the National, I know a lot of people start hitting the shows again. I normally take a week or 2 off. I don't even look at cards. I don't look at eBay. I don't do any of that. So I'm a bit, I don't know if I'm an anomaly or not, but it's just, there's so much intake during the National. It's like, okay, I may have spent too much for my PC versus, picking up stuff for shows, but that's how it goes sometimes. But no, it's Actually, my first show was actually Sunday, like yesterday. So that was the first time I had stopped
Wow.
in at a show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just seeing everybody that I did see in Chicago, I hadn't seen in Chicago.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just it's almost like I just unplugged for a hot minute just because the intake, and then
Yeah.
yeah, we boot up again. So
I totally get it. And the one you went to on Sunday, was it local, like in Detroit?
yeah, so it's a local. So the crazy thing about Metro Detroit is there's multiple shows nearly every weekend. So
Wow.
there's quite a few. Right, it's a whole circuit of the same guys, but it's also just a ton of shows.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, we're pretty lucky for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But it's also trying to figure out which shows aren't mainly dominated by TCG and which
Right.
ones are sports. So it's
Yeah.
as we all know, TCG is blowing up, and it's sometimes difficult. But normally, when I pop into shows, I don't really set up too much at the local shows anymore.
Mm.
Normally, I'll just pop in to see people that I know to see if they're looking to move anything, or they might have something for my PC.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know if you heard the last podcast. DC was on again recently, and we were mentioning at the National. It's one of those places, especially during these times, where
Yeah.
it was still predominantly sports cards than TCG. So that's why I enjoyed the National too. Like I've dabbled a little bit in Pokemon, but it's always great to see more sports cards at
Yeah.
shows like it used to be. But
Yeah.
it's funny. You're mentioning how you kind of unplug. I totally get that. But at the same time, when I got back, I was looking on eBay because I was so, discouraged
Yeah.
with all these cards that are overpriced. I'm like, eBay, at least you could find some deals still.
Yeah, that's
so,
very, very true.
so that was always fun to like look for the auctions where I could
It
snag a
was
couple cards.
it was interesting though, like you said, the because we had talked right previously and at
Hmm.
West Coast about just the cost of some of these cards. Like,
Right.
normally I'm not a guy, like I do like to collect, certain players, if I can hold on to some Otanis, but I actually got rid of all of them at the National.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, some of the bigger stuff. It's just the like we've been talking about, just the pricing is just too high for some of this stuff that
Sure.
okay, it's numbered and possibly rare, but is it really that rare?
Right, right. Yeah, no, good for you. I would have done the exact same thing if I had any Otani cards on me. And you know what? I'm going to save that because one of my questions at the end is
Okay.
the big trade you made. So we'll save that
Oh,
at the end.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want the listeners to hear. I thought it was amazing. But
Yeah.
you did kind of mention the soccer SOCO Expo you've been at
Mhm.
again this past July, August, concurrently during the national.
Yes.
So, can you talk about that experience? What you thought of the show this year, and I know we talked off air, but just the
Mhm.
general arrangement of having both the SOCO and the national. Like, has that been challenging for you, or
Mhm.
do you like it? Do other people seem to like it? Because you're in Chicago, might as well
Yeah.
hit both shows. Like, what's your thought?
So no, third year, it's obviously it's growing every single year, becoming bigger and bigger and bigger.
Huh.
This year, I think it was, I'm trying to remember the exact amount, but it was almost probably 60-40 soccer versus TCG.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, so there's quite a bit of TCG there as well this past year. But the SoCo Expo, it's put on by guys from Detroit, so I always have to support my guys from Detroit. It's always a great time, but it's also great to see all of the. Yeah, I know the National had the upstairs international row or section or whatever they had, but it's nice to see some of the guys you haven't seen normally in a year.
Yeah.
They may not always set up. They may be, just either local to Chicago or, the surrounding areas that they only set up at SoCo, once a year.
Hmm.
It's nice to see everyone again. It's almost like, it's kind of like the Brady Bunch sometimes, just so many folks coming together, but we're all kind of all know each other, hanging out
Sure.
for the time that we have there together. But as far as the show goes, it's just getting more and more foot traffic,
Hmm.
which is great for soccer. But also at the same point in time, it's difficult for those of us who are set up at the SoCo, but also try to hit the national,
Right.
right? So if we have stuff to submit to whatever grading company's open,
Yeah.
by the time we get,
Yeah.
it can be difficult. So my days were packed this year. So I was normally trying to think what they let people in at 9 a.m. Like, 'cause I got the VIP for the national, so I was in 9 a.m. every day, only there for like a half an hour, and then I have to run out to Schaumburg, set up for the SOCO,
Yeah.
debate if I want to do dinner out there or not, and then wait for trade night at SOCO. So they were busy days. Like I remember one of my buddies was staying out there. He wasn't set up at SOCO, but he just happened to see that they had a block of hotel rooms, and he forgot to get his near Rosemont, so he
Oh man.
he booked one of the rooms there. So he was staying out there, but he's a vintage baseball guy.
Oh, I see.
But it's getting bigger and bigger every year, and more faces that weren't there the first year, the second year.
Oh,
Definitely growing at a pretty substantial rate. Like there was much more interactive things to do this year. So good job on the show promoters, Scott and Motor City Wax. Yeah, it's just it's there's just you get out there Tuesday night for the national, and then you leave Sunday, and it's just those 5 days or whatever it is just so overwhelming for I do set up right as a dealer, but I don't set up as much as a lot of people do.
okay.
So for me, it's a lot of interaction. I'm more introverted than extroverted, so like my social battery sometimes gets a little bit drained by the end.
Right.
But no, the SOCO is great. I just love seeing the soccer cards. I just honestly, it's just so nice to see. I haven't been back in the cards very long, but just being able to see, the soccer cards are a bit different than what we consider modern vintage. For the usual sports, we're a bit different, kind of how we categorize, the time frames of cards. So
yeah. Well, on that note, like I was just on Sports Card Live with Jeremy Lee, and we had this debate about what constitutes a vintage card and how the definition seems to be a little fluid depending on when you collect. And so since you brought it up, how do soccer card collectors classify vintage and modern and yeah?
So it's kind of weird. Kind of there's right, because I think the very first soccer cards were just after the turn of the century in the 1900s. Okay. And they were actually opposite of baseball cards. They were advertisement for tools, not cigarettes.
Interesting.
So I think just how we classify is, I could be totally wrong. There may be guys in your comments or DMs correcting me, but normally vintage is anything pre-Maradona's rookie card, which I believe is 70 or 71. So that's mainly vintage. And then anything from there to 2014, when Panini Prism came out with their first World Cup set, it's kind of the pre-modern. And then anything after 2014 is modern, where it's a bit different for the other sports, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if that those definitions will hold up, kind of like what we debated on Sports Card Live. 100 years from now, like what will be considered vintage and such. So it seems a little bit simpler having those three essentially eras of soccer cards. Another question I had with both SOCO and the National happening, and it was funny when I was messaging you, I was like, okay, where are you? Are you at SOCO or are you at the National? When can we meet up? You were kind of like seemed to be in two places at once, and it just whenever you messaged back, I had no idea where you were exactly, but we did get to meet up at the National on my last day there, I believe. But how was that? Like, I know you had a car, so you were able to go back, and I mentioned next year. I'm planning to be in in Chicago for the National again, but I do want to dedicate at least one day to go to SOCO. I'm pretty sure, I'm assuming actually that SOCO, Soccer SOCO Expo will be taking place again at the same place. I don't know unless things change, but how was that experience kind of trying to navigate your time at both these venues?
It was, yes, it will be at the same place that it was this year.
Okay.
I think they plan on taking up more space than they did this year. As the rumors that I heard, can either confirm or deny, but that was just what I was hearing. I think they're adding on because it is for just a soccer expo / TCG expo. It is quite a large space. Like it's very large, the convention center, the Schaumburg Convention Center.
Okay.
And there's quite a bit of hotel rooms there, so it's nice if you can combo those two together. But as far as my time goes, it was difficult, right? Because I want, I always want to go see, my friends from Canada when y'all roll down as much as I can at the National. Because DC set up, as well as a couple of buddies. My buddy Matt from the East Coast, Pretzels Cards. He does soccer, and he's always set up at the National.
Oh,
So I like
nice.
to pop in and see him. But I always try to, like I said, respect people's times, right? Because depending on which day it was either 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. VIP would start. So I would try my best to be set up there. The first day for sure, I was set up
Yeah.
on time, but kind of the other days I may have been, a little bit late, just trying to get stuff done at the National, whether it's BG or whether it's PSA rejecting any sort of submissions.
Yeah.
I think it was Friday morning or Thursday morning. I don't know, whatever one.
Yeah.
Or trying to get my submissions back from MBA or BGS. It was,
Mm.
I was trying to get in, get out, but then if I could take off a little bit early some days to hit the National again in the afternoon, just to see if there was anything, that caught my eye earlier in the day. Cause it was pretty much, cause I was staying at the hotel that's connected, the Hyatt Regency. So I would just walk the tunnel or I should say the crosswalk over every day and just try to get in there as early as I could. Because they normally let people in around like 8:45 ish, not quite 9.
Right.
So I tried to do as much as I could within like probably 45 minutes, if not. So it was a lot of just. It was exciting, but it was also, as someone who got to walk the National fully last year and the year before, it was tough, right? Because I probably honestly saw 30%, if
at
that.
the National.
Of the National.
Yeah.
It's just I didn't have enough time to do everything I wanted, but it's when you're trying to support, the soccer guys in the soccer market, sometimes you have to make sacrifices,
Right.
for your other areas, other lanes that you dabble in sometimes.
Sure.
So, but no, it was good. I mean, honestly, the show was great. The foot traffic was great. And it was just good to see people looking for soccer stuff.
Yeah.
It's always tough to kind of know what to bring for a soccer expo because there's so many players, right? There's so many people looking at the young guys, obviously Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe, Holland, any of those guys. But it's also kind of you want to make sure you have something for everybody, and it can be tough preparing. So normally, probably now I start stocking up for next year.
Oh wow! Okay, that's early.
Putting things aside, it's very early. Just because when you're set up at shows, regionally, not a lot of soccer stuff comes up. So I have to have kind of some soccer cards in my case just to say, hey, this is what I do too. On top of it, but I think my favorite part though was the trade nights. Like the trade night was awesome. Every single night. I was able
at the SOCO.
Yep, at the SOCO because I was messaging you in DC, and I just remember you guys talking about the lines, and I was like, I cannot even deal with that right now. Like it's just too much.
Yeah.
So a couple of nights I just stayed out there and just grabbed dinner, and then headed over to the trade night.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was just nice to see because I set up by myself, so I don't have someone watching the table for me. So normally I just don't like to put that on other people to watch my stuff for me.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hang out at trade night and see all the guys, because normally I set up at the Chicago Sports Spectacular twice a year too. So I'll see some of the guys. They'll come see me while I'm set up there too. But it was time was tight. And then at the end of trade night, if it's 10 or 11 o'clock at night, I'm like, oh man, I got to get, I got to travel 20 minutes back, decompress, and then go to bed, and then wake up early again and just do it all over again.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm exhausted just hearing you talk about it. So, but I heard the same thing about the SOCO trade night. That was the place to be, especially with the chaoticness of the National trade nights. And we talked about it on the pod already with DC, and then we were trying to brainstorm how to make it better for in future years. And now that we're talking about it, maybe the solution is just to go to the SOCO trade night. Just to go 30, 40 minutes out, and it's not going to be as packed as the National. And you could consider it almost being a satellite trade night as well, right? Of the National.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly, I heard that quite a bit throughout the week. That a lot of people I talked to are like, hey, I heard the SOCO trade night was great. There's, my buddy who I said does vintage vintage baseball mainly with the shop, as well as basketball. Goats like LeBron,
Yeah.
Kobe, Jordan. He was picking up all the stuff at trade night at SOCO.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's
Yeah,
just
so
not
there's
just
a lot
soccer.
of. There wasn't just soccer. There was a lot of high end stuff in there. I
Oh
was absolutely shocked. A lot of on card Kobe autos numbered.
wow. Okay.
A lot of Brady rookie stuff,
Yeah.
autos, non autos. So like in person autos, I was Bowman or Bowman Chrome. I saw probably, well, I want to say probably 10 Brady Bowmans graded 7 or above
Okay. Wow.
at trade night, which is pretty shocking. They
Yeah.
also had some vendors who were set up exclusively at the National that didn't do soccer, set up kind of at trade night too,
Hmm.
just so there's a little bit of everything for everybody.
That's cool. No, I didn't know the diversity of cards at the SoCo Trade Night.
Yeah.
So definitely, if I'm there next year, I got to hit it up and make some content there for sure. Just going back to soccer cards, so you kind of mentioned it too, right? The International Pavilion on the second
Mhm.
floor of the National. I saw a lot of, not a lot, but definitely more soccer vendors all in that one area. I think
Yeah.
there's like one row where there was like back to
Yeah.
back to back soccer card vendors. Do you think there's going to be a time where the competition's going to be such that it's going to be one or the other, or is there room for the SOCO Expo and if the soccer card market continues to grow, there's going to be more at the National? Do you think they're both sustainable? What do you think might happen?
I think honestly, I think there's probably a place for both of them because I walked down that row and the soccer cards they had were absolutely mental. Just the
They're
black flank
huge.
one
Yeah,
Messi's, they're just giant cards. Especially at least some of the F1 guys too were in there.
yeah.
Like those were just massive cards. So I think there's room for both, right? Because I think where we're at in the hobby, you have to have something affordable to everybody. Where I
Mm,
feel like maybe the National, some of the dealers, they're bigger dealers and they don't have a lot of
sure.
space and they put out their bigger stuff, their nicer stuff, which I get. But I think there's a space for SOCO to thrive as well, just to kind of, if you want a dollar bin, you can find a dollar bin. If you
Mm,
want, anything from a dollar bin up to 50, 60, 100 grand, whatever you want is at the SoCo as well, not just the super high end stuff, which
right.
is awesome to see. But when I'm walking by a table and there's a messy manga for $8,000 raw, that's not in a lot of people's wheelhouse. It's not even in my wheelhouse. I don't feel comfortable with paying that at all.
Right.
So sometimes it's tough, right? But it is the National at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
if you can't find it the National, you probably won't see it.
Yeah. 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 No, for sure.
But
Yeah.
I think there's for sure a time. I think time and space for both of them.
Okay.
I hate that. That some people are saying there was I heard a couple comments about a rogue soccer show, and I don't think it's that. I think it's just creating a space for everyone because right, the soccer market is not as big. Neither is the F1 market as the classic sports.
Yeah. Agree. Agree. No, I was curious about what you thought about that. So we know for sure it's going to be there next year, so I'll have to drop by.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about soccer cards, and we know that the World Cup tournament ended this past summer, did you see an upward trend in terms of soccer card sales leading up to the World Cup, and how about afterwards? Like when you're monitoring soccer card market before, during, and after the World Cup series, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a trend upward before, especially with the big names, Mbappe, Holland, Lamine
Mm,
Yamal for sure.
right.
His stuff shot up once again
Mm-hmm.
before the World Cup. Obviously, Messi and Ronaldo were already trending up quite a bit, so they kind of stayed level until Messi started just keep getting hat tricks, assists, goals.
Yes.
His stuff spiked again during. So did Ronaldo's, but that at that time, right? I think the downturn of that is everyone wants to get rid of their stuff, so the market floods again
Interesting.
during the World Cup. So then it's
Mm,
like, okay, what's the real market looking like in actuality?
yeah.
I think for me, I just saw a lot of people getting rid of like the high end stuff. Like if Mbappe scored 1 or 2 goals, Mbappe Immaculates, National Treasures, like some of his more rare auto stuff was just going up on all of the auction sites
Huh.
getting thrown up on eBay. The same with Messi, same with Ronaldo. I think it's always tough during a World Cup year, right? Because there's a ton of hype.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think everyone rises a little bit with the tide before,
Yeah.
but then if the national team doesn't do well, the cards start to tank again. Like especially U.S. players, they really dropped off after the loss. They were peaking, and I think probably one of the hardest hit was Christian Pulisic. Like there was a lot of expectations of him for the World Cup from the U.S. point of view, and a lot of his cards spiked during the World Cup. They kind of just stayed even, but after the World Cup, they are down so bad.
Oh man,
it's unfortunate just because like we don't know behind the scenes of what happened, right? Because he did supposedly fracture his leg, during the knockout game. We don't know if he was hurt before that or what. But I think afterward, overall, everything dips a little bit after the World Cup, right? Because that hype is there. Yeah. Everyone's dipping a little bit. There's big Messi cards I've seen go for 2/3, if not less than what they were going for during the World Cup before the World Cup. But that's just how it is, and it's always going to be that way, right? Because then I was talking to one of my buddies who also does soccer cards, and I think the cycle is kind of 2 years before the World Cup, it kind of gets hype, and then 1 year, a little more hype, 6 months, super hype. Then it's just kind of going up and down, just up until the next World Cup. Because everyone's speculating who's going to be the breakout star. I mean, the breakout star that I thought was going to happen, he didn't even play for Argentina. So,
who was that? Not that I would have known, but.
It was Nico Paz. So he was a player that was Real Madrid. He got loaned out, and he's been playing really well for his loan team. And I thought he was gonna just fit right in with the Argentinian team, but he didn't even get to play. So it's always tough. I don't try to prospect soccer guys. It's too hard. There's too many teams in Europe, right? Because normal, baseball, basketball, football, there's 30 some teams or whatever there is. But soccer, there's top 5 leagues with at least 16 teams per league.
Right.
A bit more difficult.
Definitely a lot more challenging in the soccer card market from that respect, because as you were talking, when you're prospecting or when you're trying to pick a player to invest in, with all the other leagues, it's annual, right? And then like there's playoffs. If they don't do well, you know what, next year maybe the team will get back there, and especially if you're a part of the Dodgers, they could you can have a bad playoff, but they'll be back next year, and you can hold on to these cards. But with soccer, if you take a risk and you miss, you're like, oh, when's the next big tournament? Euros in 2 years if they're playing for a European country, or you might have to wait another 4 years. So like the time invested seems higher stakes, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's it's like any of the prospecting though, right? I mean, what comes to mind is I would say probably the closest to soccer is kind of the MLB. With Bowman Chrome, with first Bowman Chrome, just because there's so many farm teams for the MLB.
True, yeah.
It's tough with soccer though, right? Like you said, they have their domestic league every year. They have obviously the Champions League every year, but that just doesn't get any of the hype that the Euros do or the World Cup does, right? Because during the Champions League, a guy could go on a historic run, but only people in the soccer card market are really going to know that, right? It's not broadcast on every single news channel like the Euros or, the World Cup is.
Yeah, no, for sure. When the World Cup happened and it was all said and done, what player would you say got the highest bump, and which player would you say just dropped because their performance wasn't there?
Dropped? I would have to say probably it was either Lamine Yamal or Pulisic. I think Lamine Yamal's because he only scored 1 goal during the entire World Cup. Right. He didn't need to play that well. At the end of the day, the kid's 19 years old.
Right.
He's being hyped up, as the next Messi, and I don't know if that's right or wrong. He's still so young. But I think he dropped, but I think he's just remaining stable because I think a lot of people have a lot of money invested in his cards. It's almost like too big to fail. It's not even close to Otani, but at the same point in time, the market will always be there for his rookie stuff. Biggest drop I've seen probably is Pulisic, possibly Cristiano Ronaldo.
What? Wow, okay. That's surprising.
I just think Cristiano's always tough, right? Because people, either love him or hate him. There's not really an in between for
Right.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So I think the tough thing is some of his stuff that's more common or more modern. I think that stuff will always take a bit of a dip. I'm talking like outside of kabooms, because those in the soccer market have just gone absolutely nuts. I don't even know what to think anymore.
Okay.
But the biggest bump, ooh, I would probably have to say, without doing my research on card ladder, I would probably have to say it's probably Holland or Bellingham, Jude Bellingham
Yeah.
or Erling Holland, because I just think those two had just great runs. I mean, no one expected Norway to go anywhere. The fact
Right.
that they got to where they did, Holland was up there, you know, uh, I think only one or two goals behind Messi. When they got finally knocked out,
Yeah.
he was making his Instagram or whatever, or
Yeah.
Snapchat
Yeah.
about how Messi won't let him get the golden boot for the World Cup. So that was pretty funny. But just Jude Bellingham also just had a great tournament. I mean, the guy is 23 years old. He's playing like a 27, 28-year-old. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I
Crazy.
think we sometimes forget how young some of these guys truly are.
Yeah.
But I would say Holland and Bellingham, like Holland's stuff is steadily be increasing, but just during the World Cup, after the World Cup, his stuff is just, it will never go back to COVID Holland stuff,
Okay.
but it's starting to pop up again. Like, I've just been browsing as many websites as I can, auction house. There's too many auction houses, but that's another
Yeah.
story. But his stuff's just, it's going pretty nuclear, especially his auto stuff. But I think the difficult part, or not the difficult part, but one of the things people don't always accept when moving over to soccer from the other things is a lot of the autos are sticker autos. I know that
Right.
bugs people. People want the on card, but if you want on card soccer autos, you're paying a
Nice premium.
fortune
Yeah.
on those. Like, you're paying high end sets, right? You're going to be Panini Eminence, which is every 4 years, the World Cup. You're talking about National Treasures, which is normally every 4 years because the road to the World Cup, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even Impeccable, there's a couple on card, but a lot of them are sticker. So it's
Interesting.
tough. It's tough to find sets for a lot of on card stuff for the really big names.
Yeah, no, I've been noticing that too because I'm dabbling in things outside of baseball now and
Yeah.
basketball, and it's kind of been fun learning more about the other sports. And yeah, when you're looking, it's funny because sometimes you're like, oh, is that sticker or encore? And then you look closer, like, oh, shoot, it's sticker. But then
Mhm.
yeah, like you're saying, you don't have a lot of options,
Mhm.
relatively speaking, compared to the other sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something to keep in mind if you want to go into soccer cards. I want to look at the macro. The World Cups is over, and I feel like there's been a lot of tension on soccer, even in the sports podcasts I listen to,
Mhm.
like Bill Simmons and just more general. And everyone seems to be really hyped up about soccer, much more than even 4 years ago. We know what's happening with the hobby. Everything's kind of growing really quickly. Do you think the soccer card market will still stay kind of like in this 4-year cycle where there's this boom and I don't want to say bust, but like certainly a regression until the 4 years comes around? Or do you think we're going to start to see some steady climb even in the non-World Cup years, just because of where the hobby's going, more people coming in, hobby being more international even. We know that Germany has their own PSA
Yeah.
offices out there. So yeah, if you're going to make a prediction, what do you think will happen in the soccer card market over the next 4 or 5 years?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, probably my first instinct is, selfishly, I hope it stays in the 4 year cycle so I can buy my PC stuff or other
Sure.
stuff for cheaper.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think people are really starting to take note of the entry point for soccer compared to, the other, what I call big three sports.
Hmm.
Just the price of, I've noticed though, the price of the boxes for hobby boxes and jumbo hobby boxes are just starting to shoot up to almost to the point where they're kind of similar to the other three sports.
Oh man.
But as far as just entry point, I think a lot of people are starting to realize, especially what we consider goats in soccer, just how rare some of their early stuff is.
Hmm.
Pre 2014 and even 2014, 2016, 2018, some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially, I think what's unique is it's every 4 years for a lot of the sets.
Right.
Yeah, they'll have their tops UEFA club competitions where they're all in their club teams. But if you want them in their national jersey every 4 years or every 3 years, if you're going to do the road, to the World Cup, it's just some of the stuff's just getting more and more rare. And I think, as what I would consider myself as kind of a very humble, messy collector, everyone's just realizing, during the World Cup, the guy's 39 years old now playing guys 13 years younger than he is.
Right.
He's just a freak of nature. And I think his stuff will just keep going up, to be honest. I think Ronaldo will do the same, Cristiano Ronaldo. I think there's certain players, both new and older players, that I think people are discovering are becoming more and more rare, especially for autos.
Right.
Right. So I think it just depends. I think it's kind of following suit with every other market. People are just moving towards the more stable, like I messaged you today, the more stable investments. I think the soccer market, I think, fortunately for us, there's a lot of players that have been very good over many years. And now they're either in coaching or they've just fully retired and just fallen off, but they still sign some here and there. A lot of guys have passed away who have signed in the past. And I think I think we're following suit, but it's not going to get that. It's hard to say what will happen truly, right? With anything.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just. I think what we'll see is what happens when Messi and Ronaldo aren't in the World Cup.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah. Man, I can't even imagine a time when they won't be in the World Cup, but that day will be coming for sure. We just don't know when. But yes, they are getting up there. Speaking of Messi, and we spoke about autograph cards, and we kind of spoke about this at the National. There was that whole controversy with whether Messi actually signed or didn't sign his cards during that one period. If I wanted to collect an autographed Messi card, what would be your advice on which ones to target, which ones to look out for, which ones to be careful around?
I think for me, the first target would be, what's my price range for Messi autos? Second is, what year is it? If I'm looking for a Messi auto, right? Because unfortunately, none of this is confirmed, but as collectors, the 2018 Eminence set, which is the first high outside of Flawless, the first the first year of a high end set for soccer, his autos look not like they normally do for most of his other autos.
Right.
So I think everyone just has to be careful with what they're doing, and do your research, please, on Messi autos. Obviously, all of his new stuff coming out, 24, 25, 26 is good. From what I've seen, is his auto. 2018 to 2022, you probably want to do your homework a little bit, because some of his stuff does look different, right? I mean, people never sign their autographs the same, so I can't imagine signing thousands of stickers the exact same. But Messi, when the rumor has it that it may not be his, it looks very different than what it's his. But I think the first thing is what would you want to look for price range wise? Because I think the fact of the matter is, Messi autos aren't that rare anymore, to be honest.
Oh, they're not.
No, because he's signing quite a bit. Because I mean, right, he's the golden goose for soccer, to be honest. Right. I mean, why wouldn't he be in the set, right? He's every single chase for autos.
True.
Besides like a dual auto of stickers they may have laying around of Maradona since he passed away.
Right.
It's just, I've been talking with a lot of people, and they're just not that rare anymore. So I think it's just kind of looking for what you want to find. I mean, what I was comparing it to one of my friends is Messi is kind of like how Kobe was. He just signed a ton. Even though, yes, Messi is still alive, Kobe's not. But it's just, he's in a lot of stuff now, a lot of sets, a lot of stickers. If it were me personally, I don't have any Messi autos right now. I got rid of all of mine
Okay.
because he blew up last year. You know, he doubled in price after that $1 million sale at last year's National in 2025.
Right.
So I moved a lot of his autos then, and I don't have any more. I think it'll be some time before I actually probably get into one again, just because I would want an on card.
Yeah.
And to get a Messi on card auto is you're paying a fortune.
Okay. We can all look it up on eBay afterwards to
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
I'll take your word for it right now, though. But oh man, because being primarily a baseball card
Mhm.
collector, I'm looking
Yeah,
for those on card autos,
yeah,
and then it's when I'm looking at other sports, that's exactly what I'm looking for. But yes, I'm sure the price is up there for Messi.
yeah. And
Um,
I think the one thing you also be careful about. I don't mean to interrupt you, but the one thing you have to
no,
be
go ahead.
careful about is with some of the higher end sets. Some of the stuff is stickered too, and it's not always on card.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
There you go. Yeah, keep that in mind for sure.
yeah.
Um, all right. We kind of teased this at the beginning, but you did make a big trade. It did involve Messi. So, yeah, maybe that's the perfect segue. You want to share with our loyal listeners what your trade was at the National?
Yeah, so I didn't. So I was, like I said, I was trying to move some of Otani's kind of bigger rookie, low numbered stuff,
Yeah.
PSA 10, BGS 95 stuff. I had a 2018 Topps Update pitching refractor to 250 PSA 10 that I was shopping around the room.
Mm,
Uh, it's hard because the card hadn't sold since early April.
okay.
So, there's a couple up for sale, just ridiculous pricing. So it's hard to kind of get anyone to bite, cash wise on it. And
Yeah.
I just happened to walk up to a table and he was mulling it over. And I was like, in the very bottom, he had a really, really high end case. And the
Hmm.
very bottom quarter, I saw 71 bis Messi Mega Cracks BGS 85. And I was like, hey, are you open to trade? And he looked at it, he goes, I knew you're going to go for that. Because
Yeah.
it was decently priced. It was kind of in the price range cash wise that I wanted to be in for the Otani. And I was like, you know what? I'm into the Otani for X. Like, if I can get this Messi, that would be fantastic. And I was
Yeah.
like, hey, would you do a straight up trade? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I couldn't shake his hand fast enough.
Nice.
Because right there was a couple of lower sales for the
Yeah.
BGS 85. So I think he had his. It was priced very reasonably, but
Hmm.
it's still a very expensive card.
Sure.
Um, once you're talking between $15,000 and $20,000 for a card, like that's nothing to scoff at all. Like
Yeah.
I'm still at the point where a grand is
Yeah. Yeah.
even kind of cringy to me, trading for, but
Yeah.
it was just it's just crazy what Otani's doing. But I was just so happy to pick it up because I didn't normally I don't grab other cards if I already have one,
Hmm.
but I'm like these cards are just too hard to pass up. When you see them, and
Yeah.
and Otani, he has so many numbered rookies, and I was like, Messi only has one. He doesn't have one. He has multiple rookies, but he has only one the rookie.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was just it was incredible, and it also was like kind of an out of body experience, so to speak. You don't like when you're trading, you don't really kind of think about the value until after, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I paid for a car, in a trade,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
I think I always try to stay grounded, and I think sometimes we forget, being how expensive stuff is these days.
Sure.
But I was so happy to do that deal with the guy. I messaged him like even after I was like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it was a crazy trade. I was just happened to be the right table upstairs, just
Yeah.
the right table, right time. He had also gotten the Messi in a trade, so I think it was easier for him to kind of
Mm,
take that Otani on, even though there is risk with Otani stuff, but it's Otani.
yeah.
So for me, it was easy because it's a go for a go, and I'm a Messi guy, so I was like, I gotta get it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome. Did he know that you were a soccer card collector too, or?
no,
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
no. But I think what happened is because I had like my no like my I think I forget what it's called, but it's like a little case. I think it's like no city. It's like kind of a slab holder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think he had saw because I do have a 71 bis PSA 6. That's an NBA Gold label. I think he saw that in my
Mm,
bag when I was pulling out the Otani. So maybe that's where he got it from.
okay.
But yeah, it was just super lucky. But like, he also had a PSA 9 71 bis, and I was like, oh my gosh, like
geez.
that is
How much
it's
does
a
that go
beyond
for?
grail card for me. But it was just,
Yeah.
I'll take day 5 at way cheaper.
Okay. Yeah. What's that? Oh man, that's another discussion. PSA versus BGS, and yeah, the just the difference in value.
Yeah.
But no, I love that trade for you. And you said it was the Otani pitching number to 250, so that's a purple refractor, right?
No, it's the update. So it's
Oh,
just a
sorry.
plain refractor.
Gotcha.
So it's
Okay,
his red pitching jersey.
that's right. Okay, yeah, no, that's. I would have made that trade in a heartbeat too. And I
Yeah.
love Otani. Still want a Otani card, but yeah. And then I've learned from you just in conversation, natural conversation, how people don't realize how rare some of these Messi rookie cards are. What was that thing you said about that compared to the mantle?
So so I think I was just looking up today because I was
Yeah.
just comparing kind of where they're at. So there's, according, just as from Card Ladder,
Yeah.
but according to the total pop report for Messi, the 71 BIS, which is like his is the biggest rookie, there's 2,400 of them with like so there's 2,400 of them, and
Like
the 52 mantle has 3,300
total graded.
total graded.
Yes. Okay. That's
But then
crazy.
if you want to dig deeper, you can go to Cristiano Ronaldo's 2002, 2003 mega cracks. There's only 860 total graded.
Wow. Okay.
So just for Ronaldo collectors out there. But yeah, the Messi and Ronaldo stuff is just so rare, just because the card stock was just so horrible, and it was printed, in Europe. It was distributed in Europe. Yeah, but it's just wild to kind of think about what a mantle goes for and what a Messi goes for, and there's less Messis, and there's even less Ronaldos.
Yeah, that's wild perspective, man.
Yeah.
With I'm just curious, the 2002-03 Ronaldo at that low of graded pop count, is the value that much higher? And like a BGS 85 of that Ronaldo rookie versus a BGA, which one's?
No, I would say I was looking up that too, and I don't know what the last Messi PSA 10 went for, but the last Ronaldo PSA 10 went for 122,000, which I think is a fraction of the price of Messi's PSA 10.
Okay, there you go.
So I think Messi's is somewhere upwards of 800, 900,000.
Wow. Okay.
But it's also because the gem rate for the Messi is a lot lower than the Ronaldo.
Learn something new every time I speak with you, Dave. So I appreciate that. No, appreciate your time as well. And I kind of gave you a heads up right before we recorded. I wanted to do kind of a rapid fire to kind of end this segment. So if you're cool with that, we can go into it right now.
All right, let's go.
All right. So I'm going to give you 3 names of soccer players. You tell me which one would you rather buy, sell, or hold. Okay. So you got to tell me which one you would. Yeah. Out of these 3 names, would you buy, sell, or hold?
Okay.
Mbappe, Lamine Yamal, Erling Haaland. So which ones of those would you buy, sell, or hold? Yeah, you could choose one for each.
I would hold Lamine Yamal, just because his market's kind of dipped from what it was, and he's 19 years old. He'll be in a couple more World Cups for sure.
Okay.
This may go against a lot of people. I would sell Haaland, and I would buy Mbappe.
Wow. Okay. That's.
I think the reasoning is just because Haaland will be in a couple World Cups too, and he may be more likable than Mbappe just because of his personality.
Yeah.
But just his stuff has gotten so high, and I think for me, I would sell because Norway's not always guaranteed. Where neither is France, but France is almost kind of a for sure lock to get into the World Cup. Sure. They're just too direct always.
Yeah.
And Mbappe already has the most goals ever in a World Cup.
Yeah.
So it's
that makes sense to me.
I think Mbappe is still a bit disrespected just because he didn't. There's a whole other thing we can talk about, but yeah.
Okay. But that makes sense to me, that logic right there. Yeah. Okay, second one. Rank these 3 soccer players in order of who you would want to hold on to for investment purposes until the next World Cup.
Okay.
Jude Bellingham, we kind of mentioned him at the beginning. Harry Kane, we didn't mention him, but Harry Kane, another top England player, and David Beckham. I'm going to throw a curveball there. So those three, which one would you hold on to for the next World Cup, knowing, where the market is right now? Yeah.
So rank in order?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is my disclaimer in no way, shape, or form when I telling people what to invest in with their money.
Yes. Good.
But rank in order. Ooh, that's tough. I think third place would be Harry Kane.
Okay.
Because I'm not, he's phenomenal. He had an amazing club season and World Cup as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how much does he have left in the tank?
Right.
He will go down as one of England's greatest players ever. He's their top goal scorer, I think. He will go down as a great for sure. So he would probably be third on my list. The second would be David Beckham.
Okay.
Just because I think his rookie stuff and his Man United stuff is still so undervalued. It's crazy, right? Because I grew up in the era where everyone remembers David Beckham's free kicks. Like, that's what he's known for. Like, yes. I still don't think he got respect, even though I am proud of DC for purchasing a Man United David Beckham rookie card.
I was going to say.
Shout out to you, DC. That's my boy. And I think the first would be Jude Bellingham. He's 23.
Yeah.
He'll be 27. He'll be in his early prime, I would say, probably, with just how players play nowadays. I would hold him for sure. Yeah, I just think he showed the world what he can do at such a young age already for England. I think if Harry Kane has another one in him in the tank, and him and Jude, I think England's going to be great. I know everyone says it every year. I feel like there's astronomical expectations for poor England fans as well as across the world of them to win it since they haven't won it since '66. But yeah, I would hang on to Jude probably.
Okay. Good. All right, next. Name an underrated soccer player that collectors are currently sleeping on.
Ooh. That is sleeping on. Ooh, that's actually a difficult one. So I'm trying to scroll through the Rolodex of all the soccer players I'm thinking of. Who do I think?
Or you name a couple if the one is two.
Yeah. Can I say like certain variations of players' cards, like auto or non-auto?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say people are starting to get there, but I think it's still undervalued. Maradona autographed cards or sticker autos. So Diego Maradona.
Yeah.
Since he passed away, I've just been seeing a steady uptick in all of his auto stuff, right? Because he's not signing anymore.
Yeah.
But I think people are starting to realize that he is, Argentina's GOAT before Messi. Debatable, possibly one of the best players ever to play the game. So I think his autos are still very underrated at this point. I think another one would be Cristiano Ronaldo autos.
Interesting. Why?
That's a big one of mine. I don't like dropping secrets or anything because I'm selfish in nature, but his autos are becoming more and more rare. The word on the street is he may not be signing anymore.
Wow. Okay. So the opposite of Messi.
So he's the opposite of Messi. So I think it's getting harder to find his autos, and it's getting harder to find his early autos, right? Because back in, I think 2020, he changed it to a larger auto than what it used to be.
Right.
I think his early stuff is just starting to dry up, right? Because you have his early Man United stuff before 2014, all sticker stuff. And then 2014, it's his auto. 2018, it's his early auto. Yep. And then come around 2022, 2020 timeframe, he changed it. And I think, whether you like him or not, if he was in any other era of soccer, he would be the GOAT. But unfortunately for him, Messi was born at the same time as him. I mean, think about it though. Like, he has 5 Ballon d'Ors. Messi has 8. Like, 5 is 2 more than anyone else ever.
Yeah.
8 is just astronomical. So I think, it's unfortunate for him, that he played in this time frame, but also like his autos are just getting super rare. Yeah, and I'm not a huge Ronaldo guy, but I've started to add some of his stuff to my PC just because it's getting so rare.
Okay.
It's just difficult to find. I guess it's up to the person whether you wanted his Real Madrid, you wanted Juve jersey, or you want Man United, or you want Portugal.
Right.
I think that's up to people. Okay, let's see if I can think of one that's like way out there real quick.
Okay. But noted about Ronaldo.
Yes, I've been telling probably too many people that, but
Any youngsters?
I'm trying to think of like youngsters who I think are going to be phenomenal, but it's just hard because there's so many places to get loaned out to.
Mm.
A lot of people were asking me, and I don't know if I'm quite convinced yet, but Jan Diomande, he's from the Ivory Coast, and Real Madrid, I think, just spent, let me check here, I might have over 140 million
Wow.
euros on him from Leipzig in Germany. So I think a lot of people have started collecting this stuff, and I think it dropped because the Ivory Coast didn't do the greatest in the World Cup, but he's still very young.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's a phenomenal player. I mean, generally speaking, yes, Real Madrid buys a lot of good players, but normally they don't buy young players that quickly if they don't see the prospect there.
Yeah.
And from the games I've seen him in RB Leipzig, he's great, phenomenal, a lot of talent there. It's just, can they foster that talent, that potential?
Okay. There you go. 3 choices. I was going to ask you as a last question, but I already kind of know the answer, or I get the sense I know it. Who's the GOAT, Ronaldo or Messi? I'm going to assume you're going to go with Messi here.
Yes, I have to go with Messi. Just because I've grown up watching him because he stayed in the league for so long, whereas Ronaldo kind of jumped around. Right, I'm a big EPL guy. I'm a Chelsea FC fan, so I saw Ronaldo play early days of Man United.
Mm-hmm.
Hated him playing, but
right.
He was just so good. I mean, but just for me, Messi is been one of the players he's just generational from his touch to his skills. Yeah. This is no disrespect to Ronaldo at all. Ronaldo is an absolute physical specimen of a human, and he's worked so hard to get where he is.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Messi was just blessed with more talent than Ronaldo. Yeah, I mean, it's probably, my view is probably a bit skewed because I was able to move one Otani card and go see Messi play at the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. But I think for me, it's Messi. It's just I grew up just watching him so much more than Ronaldo.
Yeah, nice. I'm going to agree with you. And again, no disrespect to Ronaldo. When Portugal played in Toronto for this most recent World Cup, the amount of fans Ronaldo has is ridiculous. And I know we have a big Portuguese community here in Toronto too. Yeah. So it was amazing to see. Just how big he actually is, like how he could be the biggest soccer star. You might not think he's a GOAT, but in terms of how many people know him,
it's absolutely wild though. I'm just trying to think of, Otani, you can mention, everyone knows him, but I think you have to say the same thing for Messi and Ronaldo. Like, you can mention their name to pretty much anybody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's the soccer guys."
Yeah, that's right.
So it's pretty wild. But no, Ronaldo has a lot of fans, and I think, like I said before, my one piece of advice. This is not investment advice, but his autos are becoming super rare, and he's just, he might be at the point where he's just like, you know what, I don't need to sign anymore.
Right? Yeah. I'm going to start adding some Ronaldo autograph cards on my watch list. So thank you for that. Bonus question to end it off. Yeah. And, people, I haven't done rapid fire in a while, but whenever I do, I always make it a little bit more Canadian centric because I am Canadian.
Yeah.
Which Canadian soccer player do you like to watch right now? And do you have a Canadian soccer player in your collection? I'm curious.
I don't have any, but I really, really enjoy watching Alphonso Davies.
There you go.
Like, I know it's like everyone's choice, but I'm a big Bayern guy, and whenever I can watch a Bayern game and he's playing, I think the guy's just great. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Like, the skill is there. He's been playing at Bayern Munich since he was a kid, and it's just unbelievable. Like, he's just a great winger.
Yeah, and the burst of speed, incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, it's fun to watch him, that's for sure. And
yeah,
That is the correct answer. Alfonso Davies.
All right.
All right, Dave, again, thanks for your time. Always enjoy when you're on the pod. And I hope to see you in another upcoming show. It's always great to meet in person.
For sure. Yeah, no, I appreciate the time as always. Love being on the pod whenever I can. And listen whenever I'm driving to shows. So definitely gets me in the right headspace.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.